Middle of May. Rainy, a blue sky rainy day. Anyway, here in Cochrane for this hour. All right, let's settle in, everyone. I'm using this hour to, I had a friend say to me yesterday too, that she's always like looking outside for help. She's always gathering different experts or different doctors or different everything to help her. And then she's thinking about that quote that says, Western medicine knows but 10% of what your body's wisdom knows about healing. I'm sure that's not quite the proper quote. It's from Deepak. But it is funny how maybe we just need to come in more and see what everything is in here. If we just get still and quiet enough, we just participate in the healing that our body knows how to make happen. Maybe that's as much as we're capable, and maybe that's as much as we're supposed to do. So let's come to a seat, ground into your sit bones, settle your feet. Feel the distance between those grounded sit bones on the chair and the crown of your head. And as you move your awareness to the breath filling your body, notice the breath radiating down into those sit bones and up into the crown. Feeling your breath both root you down and help you rise up at the same time. Allowing the sit bones and the feet to feel connected and heavy and settled into the chair, into the floor. And then letting the breath expand the body up through the crown of the head, out through the chest and back, through the side body. What if our hour today was just dedicated to the healing that our body already knows how to do? And our purpose here for this hour is to be slow enough, to be still enough, to infuse our body with breath, and to introduce movement in a complementary way, so that every move that we make makes it easier and more efficient for that healing intention that our body has for us. As you breathe in through your nose, see if you can count to 3. Noticing the pause gently at the top before you count to 3 on your exhale. Noticing that small gap at the bottom of the exhale before you breathe in again. See if you can even out your inhale and your exhale so that they feel like they're the same length. And then begin to spend a bit of time as you finish inhaling. Notice how you can suspend your breath at the top of that inhale. Perhaps for the same count, the same 3 counts or whatever your count is before you exhale. And at the bottom of the exhale, when your body is empty of air, feeling the gap, the space there too. Noticing if you can let that gap expand until you're inhaling for 3 counts, suspending the breath at the top of the inhale for 3 counts, exhaling for 3 counts, and just hanging out in the emptiness for 3 counts. If 3 counts doesn't feel long enough for you, try 4. If possible, this breath is coming in and out through your nose. Perhaps your eyes are closed or cast downward. Noticing the breath radiating and expanding as you inhale. Your body taking its time to absorb all the goodness that's come in as you hold at the top. Collecting whatever no longer serves you to be expelled on your exhale. Enjoying the stillness and emptiness at the bottom of that exhale before your next inhale is ready to begin. It's like you get to feel the cycle of drawing it in, soaking it up, collecting and gathering what's no longer needed and emptying it out. And then just noticing how clean and empty everything is. A big inhale, drawing in what's next. That time to let it soak and absorb into every cell that needs it. Our breath is our biggest, most powerful healing tool. When you're ready, when it feels complete, to just allow the breath to fall back into normal pattern, no longer counting the inhale, the holds, the exhale. But notice how it falls into a deeper, more regular, stronger pattern because of the practice. Let's tie our first movement to breath. Exhaling, let the chin reach to the right shoulder. Inhale it back to center. Exhaling, let your chin reach to the left shoulder. Inhale back to center. No pushing, no reaching. As the inhale feels ready to draw in, let the chin comes back to center. And as the exhale is moving, let the chin move out to shoulder. Allowing the movement to follow the lead of the breath. almost reversing our normal pattern of breath having to keep up with movement. Today we're going to let breath lead and movement follow. Chin comes back to center, and then you drop the chin to chest. Inhale it back to parallel to floor. And then exhale, dropping your head back, chin lifts. Inhale back to center. Drop it towards chest. Inhale to neutral. Lift it up. Inhale it to neutral. So as the exhales happen, the chin drops or lifts. Every inhale brings it back to center. Good. Leave that out, or leave that to finish, and then just shake your head gently right and left. Move your head around however it needs to so that it feels like the head just sits on top of the spine. Now let's play with our shoulders. Lift them up as you inhale, and as you exhale, roll them down your back. Forward and up on the inhale, down and back on the exhale. Long, slow, delicious breaths. Change directions where you go back and up, forward and down. Nice. And then hands come together, elbows open, and arms and elbows close. Breathe in, spread the arms wide. Breathe out, bring them back. There's no strain here. You don't have to arch your back. You don't have to shift your rib cage. Bring hands right to heart center. Roll those shoulders down the back, and then twist the whole spine to the right, back to center, over to the left, back to center. Today I'm letting the inhales lead me back to a center point. The exhales are taking me away from center. Back to center. Shoulders roll up to the ears and then down the back. Roll up to the ears and down the back. Nice. Good. Hands drop down beside you and just start to turn the wrists in big circles. Take nice deep breaths as the hands roll on the ends of your arms. Then lift the elbows up and swing the arms. Take deep, long exhales as the arms sway back and forth. Shaking those arms out to the side. Yeah. Slide your fingers to the ends of your knees. Deep breath in. And exhale into that arching cat pose. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, back arches. Breathe tall. Remember, you're allowing your movement to follow the invitation of your breath. You're rising as you inhale and arching as your body exhales. Sitting tall, rolling those shoulders down your back, letting the hands drop down beside you. Breathing in. Hands drop down to heart. Big circles on the inhale. Hands dropping to heart on the exhale. Gathering, inviting air in, and then exhaling, settling your palms together at heart. And then change directions. The fingers go up to the sky and back down, up to the sky and back down. Breathing in and out and in and out. Let the shoulders roll up to the ears again and down your back. Roll up to the ears a few more times and down your back. Yeah. Yeah. Right hand lands down, left arm sweeps up and over, and go to the other side. Let your breath guide you into those deep side bends. Nice exhales accompany those side bends. Breathe. Breathe. Nice work. Coming all the way back into center. Shoulder roll 3 times back. Let the chest rise. Pull the shoulders down the back. Hug your elbows together. Maybe your hands are going to rest on the chair. And just see if you can lift your heart and let your head tip back a little bit. There. Exhale, release, and move into the cat pose again. Pressing the spine back behind you. Inhaling forward. Nice. Let's take that twist a bit deeper. We'll move the feet over to one side of the chair. Sit bones ground, spine tall. We twist towards the chair back. Nice tall spine first. Begin with the belly turning, then ribs, shoulders, chin. Every inhale, breathe tall. Every exhale, settle the shoulders and twist deeper. Remember, your breath is your guide today. Your movement only follows the invitation of the breath. Chin releases, shoulders release. Come all the way out. Sweet. We slide the outside bum, cheek, and leg off the chair and drop the knee. Back toes curl under, back hand on the chair back. Push and release that heel. Big stretch down the front leg. Remember, you can take this foot further back if you like. Deep breaths. Slide that foot all the way forward and bring yourself to the other side of the chair. Let's do the twist first. Lengthen through the spine. Twist thinking of the parts of your spine. So the belly goes first, then the ribs, then the shoulders, then the chin. Breathe tall up through the crown of your head, exhaling, settling the shoulder blades. Imagine that every inhale let you sit taller, and every exhale gave you potential in your twist. Chin releases, shoulders release, ribs and belly, nice work. Okay, slide your outside bum, cheek, and leg off the chair. Drop the knee down beside you. Remember, the knee can stay underneath, or it can do a big reach further back, whatever feels good for you. And then just roll on the toes, pushing the heel back behind you. Back hand can hold to chair back. Breathe. Keep your breath moving, steady and slow. Good. Let's release that back heel pump, bring the knee forward, and then settle your bum square into your chair seat again. My bum cheeks are going to pull to the edge, let my knees open wide, and slide fingers to the ends of the knees. And then just start to let my spine come down. You might draw your elbows onto the edge of your chair and really lengthen out through the crown of your head, feeling like you get a little bit of a back arch almost, not arch, like a concaveness, an opening across the front of your chest. Still soft in the chin, pulling the shoulder blades down the back. Good. If you want, sit back up, close your knees just a little bit more, and almost fall forward, resting your chest on the thighs. Head can hang off the ends of your knees, arms draped towards the floor. When you come out of this pose, let yourself lift up, stacking your vertebrae, one on top of each other, back to a nice tall spine. And feel the blood rush out of your head back into your body. Give yourself a minute here. You're breathing in, again, feeling the breath both root you down into the seat, into the soles of your feet, and let you rise through the crown of your head. So good. Knees open wide again, hands come to the outsides of those knees, and then you drop one shoulder down, lifting back up again. One shoulder down, lifting back up. Figure out which way is your inhale, which way is the exhale. Move with sweetness. Remember, the movement is following the deep, slow breath. You're moving it, they call it optimal range of motion, where the breath can move and where there's no pain. And set yourself back down. Slide those feet back in to meet. Good. So your choice now of that foot cross, heel can cross the shin, and you can work the knee open and close there. If the heel can pass the knee and you can sit here, then you can play. If the hand can find the foot at all, then do both at the same time. Just sort of massage the toes and the ball of the foot and feel that knee lift up towards the chest and press down towards the floor. Feels like actually a lot of, as soon as I introduced those cues, too many cues, I feel myself not being able to concentrate on breath anymore. So maybe you have to pick if you're going to massage the foot and breathe or lift and lower your thigh, massaging that hip socket and breathe. Maybe spend a few breaths on each. Wherever you are in that, whether the heel is on the thigh or on the shin, sit really tall here, roll the shoulders back, and just lean ever so slightly forward and feel the tension that you're creating, the work that you're creating in the hip socket. Breathe. Sit nice and tall. Lift that knee up and untangle it. Good. Let's try the other side. Remember, right leg can be long and that ankle can cross the shin. Then you'll just work here. If it passes the knee and your hand can find the foot, spend some time. Maybe half your breaths will be massaging this foot. And half your time you can spend working in the hip socket, lifting and lowering the thigh. Good work. Releasing it all. You can feel that right here in the hip sockets. Let the toes settle in front of you. Lift right foot open. Tiptoe the toes to the side and bring them back. Lift left. Tiptoe the toes to the outside of your chair and bring them back. So try and do these tiptoe touches with a nice tall spine. Lifting, sweeping leg to the side, touching down. It's a nice lateral movement we're practicing here. We're getting the inner and the outer thighs engaged and involved. If this is feeling hard on the spine, make the touches closer to home. You might be just touching to the edges of your chair corners. Yeah, and then let that finish. Sweet. Imagining the hula hoop up right here around the rib cage. Start to let yourself hula hoop the chest in big round circles. Whichever way you're choosing to go, change directions. I lifted off my chair a little bit, only because my chair is so squeaky. Nice. And then settle back down. Good work. You can feel that in the hip sockets now. So we'll stand up and start to work out the hips. Heels come in so that knees feel like they're out over toes. Your bum is right to the edge of your chair seat. Lean forward and just feel that body weight shift. This is what we're looking for when you first stand up, is you feel as you start leaning forward that the legs go, okay, I know what's next. I'm in charge. Feel the soles of your feet connect. Feel the muscles in your legs start to engage from the soles of the feet up into calves, knees, thighs, hips. Press down into the soles of the feet, lift the bum. Your first pose usually looks like this. Perhaps hands there, maybe to straighten the legs a little bit. Maybe. And then maybe let yourself do some cat-cow poses with your hands on your thighs. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to turn around so that I'm actually facing my chair. So instead of my bum being at the seat of my chair, my hands can be. And you can play here with what you need. So Uttanasana is the forward fold, and it is allowing your body to head fall off the end of your spine towards the floor. If this feels good, I would separate your feet more than hip width apart. You can bend your knees generously and let yourself fold. If it doesn't feel so good, you can bring your hands or your forearms to your chair seat and practice that. Just a tiny slope of head lower than heart. You can also have arms straight. Keep the head in line with the heart. So just do what feels right for you. For some people, this tractioning feels really good. If that's you, take the tractioning, long, slow breaths. Tiny tractioning, parallel. It's all good. Do what works for you. How about we say 5 or 6 more breaths, just playing with what suits you best here. One more breath. Hands come to that seat of the chair. Spine is in line with top of your head. Hips are in line with top of your head. Good. And then just start to lift one heel back behind you, set it down. Lift the other heel back behind you, set it down. You're imagining right now that you have like a teacup and saucer resting on your hips. So your hips aren't kind of swaying all over the place as you lift that heel. You're just pressing the heel back behind you. Pressing the heel back behind you. Yeah. Good. Bend into those knees. Inhale and come to standing. You can bring the hands right up above your head and exhale them down. Let's spend some time just settling into this mountain pose, breathing in and dropping your hands to your heart. And breathing in. Deep release, dropping hands to heart. Long inhale. Full exhale. Good. Hands can come to the hips and we lean to the right. Come back to center. Lean the other way. Back to center. Good. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Yeah. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Good. Take it from a spinal side bend to a hip sway. So you might separate the feet a little bit more, and now you're going to take the hips over to one side, bring them in. So it's not so much about the spine bending like a willow. Now it's about the box at the bottom of the spine. Waving side to side. You can feel the muscles down the side of your hips engage as you really press out through that side hip. Use the inhale every time to bring yourself to stand tall. The exhale is that nice side bend out through the hip. Now go back to the hula hoop idea. We're going to drop the hula hoop right to the waist and take the hula hoop in nice big circles. Optimal range of motion means you're not increasing or adding any pain or discomfort, and that your breath can be fluid the whole time you're moving. So optimal range of motion does not disturb your breath pattern. Consider that. If you feel like you have to hold your breath at all, then your range of motion is not optimal for you today. That tightening breath is a cue for you to know that your body's holding on a little bit. It's a little bit tenuous, a little bit worried, a little bit careful about the movement that you're doing. So listen to that cue and only move where your body gives you the permission of a full unrestricted breath. Whichever way you're hula hooping, make sure you change directions and evenly hula hoop the other direction as well. Good work. Good work. All right. I want you to take this stance, widen it just a tiny bit more. Remember, if you want that chair close by for any reason to help with balance, always have that available for yourself. And I'm going to take my right toes and point them out. I know on the screen that kind of looks like my left. And then the hips start to sweep out to that back leg. Reach through the crown of the head. I'm thinking of my spine being in a long straight line. Thinking of the bottom shoulder pointing to the floor and the top shoulder pointing to the ceiling. Same thing for the rib cage. Could my rib cage turn so gently towards the sky? Decide if the bottom arm can just fall or if it wants to rest on something. If the top arm wants to sit on my hip or rise to the sky. What does your breath tell you? Where is the pose optimal for a full unrestricted breath? Find your inhale. Find your exhale. Notice where it's available. Press firmly into the soles of your feet. Let yourself rise all the way up. And we'll go to the other side. Feet are just slightly wider than hip width apart. One set of toes points out. Hips go to the back leg. You lean forward out of those pointed toes. Think of the tailbone to the crown of your head in a long straight line. Imagine that you want your chest facing forward. Those ribs perhaps slightly turning up. My ribs always want to sort of face the floor. So this rotation here is where I'm always finding the work. Hands can be right here, one on hip, one on thigh. Maybe that chair is in front of you. Nice. Find your long, strong breath. Fluid moving through the body. Firm press into the feet. Lift yourself all the way up. Buoyant knees. Nice. Step those feet together. Good. Nice work with that. Let's find the back of the chair now and do our stretch out. where you just let the hands be on the back. This can be a countertop in your house. This can be a nice tall chair. But this pose, you can play with it however you want. Bend into the knees and really push the bum back behind you. Feel like you get to traction the spine. Open up the low back. Play here. For those of you that have, that want a little bit more than this. So this is like the beginning of what could become our downward dog. So if you want to take the fingers lower, go ahead. If downward dog is still in your practice and you want to go all the way back to a downward dog, it's a bit harder from that perspective to go to a dog. But you can find the version of that long spinal traction that you want. And then lift back up again. Nice. Come to stand tall. Feet hip width apart. Soles resting into the floor. Feel the breath both grounding and rooting down and the lightness rising up through the crown. Roll the shoulders down the back. Feel the breath in your body radiating from center out to the surface of your skin. Perhaps you're feeling your heartbeat, flow of energy, how your movement today is opening up tight spaces and helping your breath sweep away all the residue, resistance, stiffness that you don't want to take with you into your day. Rinsing it all out. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to face the back of my chair again and take my right foot back behind me. Start to lean forward with those legs in a pyramid pose. And then I'm going to take my right forearm down onto the chair back and take my left hand to the low back and just start to roll my left shoulder up and release it down. Roll it up and release it down. Just feeling that nice twist in the back body. Again, if you want this to be further, if you want to go further, that hand can come to shin and you can play the same thing. Good. And come all the way up, knee bend, step forward, left foot back. Lift on an inhale to a tall spine. Fold forward. This time it's my left forearm on the chair back, right hand to low spine. Gentle rotation. Use your inhale to lift the shoulder. Don't go so far as you have to hold your breath and then come back down. So this is a gentle movement. If you want to go further, hand can come lower on the chair or to your leg. Good. And then both hands come back to the chair. Lift the spine, buoyant knees, step forward. Good work. Okay, so feet come together. I feel the mound of my toes touch. The heels come closer together, hands to the seat back of the chair. And then imagine just lowering your spine down a wall. And then push back up to standing. If you actually have a wall close to you that you can use, I would bring the feet just a little bit away from the wall, lean against the wall, and then let yourself slide down and push back up. Now, what's important here is that the movement comes from the soles of your feet. You're releasing and then pressing into the soles of your feet to come back up. So you're either using the wall or push to stand. Release down, push to stand. Relax the low back a lot. Don't feel like you're having to leverage from the low back. Feel like all this work has to happen in the legs. They'll start to burn. They might be already. Yeah, okay, good. Come to standing. Nice. Okay, just take a seat break in the chair or stand. So if legs are still feeling fine and you're like, oh, I like this juiciness that's happening, stay standing. If your body's like, I'm gonna have a break, then sit down in your chair. I want you to take eyes closed, 5 breaths. Make sure you're still moving with the intention of movement, attaching and following the lead of your breath. Nice work. Okay, I'm going down to the mat now. My first pose is going to be on my hands and knees. So if you want that extra support under palms, blanket or pillows, under knees, blanket or pillows. If you want to let hands come down to chair so that you can drop those knees down. And then slide back so that your palms can land. Go ahead. When you get to this pose, you're coming into your cat and cow. Head and tailbone lift, and then sweep the spine upward to the sky. Picture this like waves rolling up on a beach. The wave touches your tailbone and rolls all the way up to the crown of your head. And then from the crown of your head rolls all the way out to your tailbone. Which way is the inhale? Which way is the exhale? Breathe. Good. And release that. Now take your right hand underneath your left armpit and imagine yourself grabbing onto the handle of a lawnmower, and then lift your elbow. Reach and lift your elbow as if you're pulling a lawnmower starter really slowly in slow motion. Reach and pull. Reach and pull. Last one. And then release that side and come to the other side. Okay, we stretch left hand under right armpit, elbow pulls high. Stretch, pull elbow high. Super slow motion lawnmower starting, getting you ready for gardening season. Probably you guys have already mowed your lawn once. And then end. Good. So this next one is just you imagining that you're like one of those children's rocking horses. Imagine that the spine is really long and straight, and you're working the wrist and the shoulder joints, the knee and the hip joints. You can feel as you come forward, those wrists get lots of work, and then as you go back, yeah. So let yourself stretch forward and lean the hips forward and back. Nice work. Good work. Nice. So if it feels good now, we're going to move down onto our bellies. So I'm going to change my blankets. I won't need them as much. You do what you need to see if you can lower down onto your belly. Yeah. I want you to slide the hands in beside the shoulders. Lift the shoulders up to the sky, roll them down your back, and then gaze at the floor, your nose almost touching. And then gently peel your chest up off the floor, put it back down. Peel your chest up, put it back down. Use your inhale to lift, your exhale to release. You don't have to lift high, remember, no pain. You're trying not to press into the hands, you're trying to use the chest and back muscles, and that's good. Now crisscross your arms and rest your forehead on the back of your wrists. Once you've done that, lift the soles of your feet to the sky and just start to sway your feet right and left, tick-tocking them in the sky. Feel your low belly massage into the floor. Feel your low back. Just relax and let go as you just sway the heels right and left. Good. And then let the feet release back down to the floor. If you know that there's a more comfortable position for you than to be here just resting, perhaps one cheek on the floor, then you can go ahead and curl up onto your side or turn over onto your back. You can find your favorite Shavasana position. If you're here and you're pretty comfy, then you can just let yourself stay here for your Shavasana. Here too, feel the way that your breath comes in and out of your body. Feel the way the part of your anatomy that's not touching the floor can expand with breath. And where you can feel that expansion, be resisted when it is reaching into the floor. As you're in that final rest position, you're just scanning your body to notice the effects of your practice. Notice how it feels to just move inward out of that external seeking of solutions and into the internal trusting that your body has some intelligence all of its own. And just notice how that feels. You can slowly push yourself back up. If child's pose is a pose that feels good for you, your knees can part, your toes can touch. The bum starts going back towards the heels and your hands stretch straight out in front of you. Some of you will find that hips can go all the way back towards heels. Some of you will find that you can let your forehead rest on the floor. But just get a nice stretch through the spine, through the armpits. Press yourself back up to hands and knees and into your seat. Down on the floor or in your chair. Thanks for sharing your Tuesday mornings with me, everyone. Namaste.
Thanks, Jill.
Thanks, Jill.